guys, it's Dom here from Car Thought. We're here in the beautiful Lake District trying to get some lovely shots of my new 2-litre Sport MX5. This is the NC model. It's a 2007 on a 2006 plate. Let's go and have a look. Okay guys, so in the interior now, it's a full leather interior on this model. We've got a 6-speed manual gearbox. The throw is very short and snappy. It's a bit of a cliche, but it feels like a bolt action rifle. Not that I've held a lot of rifles, but that's what I'd imagine they'd feel like. We've got 2 heated seats. Obviously this car is a 2-seater, so that's nice to have in this cold weather today. But the only thing that is not so good is we do not have aircon. So in some models they'll have an aircon button here. I don't have that in mine, which isn't a problem today, but it's probably going to be a bit of a problem in the summer when it gets a bit warm. But hey ho, it's a convertible. We'll just take the roof down, I hope. The cockpit is pretty basic in this car. I don't think there's any sort of complex cockpits in any of these models. So we've got some volume and mode buttons for the radio on the steering wheel, but that's pretty much it. Standard indicator and windscreen wiper functions. Nothing else to take away from the driving experience. We've got obviously the convertible roof system above us, so it's a single push and then an unlock, and then if you're stronger than me you can open it. Obviously it folds all the way down. I won't do it at the moment because we'll get a bit chilly, but if you push it back like that after you've hit a few weights in the gym, I haven't recently so it's a bit difficult, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Okay, so running around the exterior of the car, we have the bi-xenon headlamps fitted as standard. We've also got a real radiator grille, which I can get all my fingers through, which is nice to see. A lot of cars nowadays have the aesthetic radiator grills. Moving around the side of the car, we've got 17-inch optional wheels. These have been refurbished in anthracite grey by the previous owner. I think it looks really good contrasting with the red. We've got quite a bit of ride height here, which a lot of Mark III owners complain about. My tyres are currently 205 45 ZR17 Kumos Extra Sport, so I'm really excited to see how these perform in the sort of greasy wet weather that we've got here at the moment. Side indicators are currently orange, which clashes with the red, but I will change these to go clear at some point. Moving around the rear of the car, you can see through the rear window that we've got silver roll hoops. They don't really match when the roof is down, so I will get those anthracite grey at some point to match the wheels. Down here we've got clear rear lamps, so these sometimes can be red on the MX5s, which doesn't look so good on a red car, so I'm glad I've got the clear ones. Also we've got twin exit exhausts, which kind of give the car a bit of a stance and make it look a bit more meaty from the rear. So let's head out and try and see if we can take it for a spin. So the clutch on this car is, the travel is really short. I'm not used to it. It's very difficult to pull away, I'm finding, in first or second gear, but once you get going it's quite easy and it quite likes the revs. The revs help you change gears quite quickly, so the gearbox is much more responsive when you rev the car a bit. I think it likes being revved quite high because it's much more responsive in the gearbox. this car, there's not a huge amount of power, so you can use quite a lot of the revs to actually get to the speed limit and then sort of hold it there. I find myself between second and third gear a lot of the time, and it is quite good fun just to change gear and rev the car out a bit. But the only other thing is you find that you run into cars in front quite quickly, mainly because it goes quite quickly around corners. Going through town is not as bad as you'd think actually. The car isn't too bad at low speeds. It has, like I mentioned earlier, quite a notchy change, and that's the worst bit about it. And pulling away from first gear I'm finding quite difficult, but I think that's just because I'm not very good at driving, not the car's fault necessarily. It's quite a cool day today. I think it's about 10 degrees, but you can feel some of the heat coming through the footwell from the engine, even though the temperature gauge is reading very cold on the engine. So again, I don't know what it's going to be like on a hot day, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I'll show you what I mean by the clutch biting point here. So it's a really, you have to be very gentle on it. I think the distance between engaged and not engaged on the clutch is probably about 10 centimeters maximum. And there's no hill hold assist, so you start rolling back. Again, it's 2007, so well, most modern cars have hill hold assist on the brake system, where the brakes hold to stop the car from rolling backwards, so you don't have to put the handbrake on and do a hill start in the traditional sense. Oh, a Kia Ceed GT. He liked it. Finding that the traction control light flickers quite a lot, but I can't actually feel the wheels spinning, so I think it's just a bit overprotective. Okay, so that wraps up my video of my MX5. What a beautiful weekend to spend in the Lake District with such an amazing car. The first weekend that I've had in it. We've done about 300 miles in it so far. The weather's not been too bad. We just came off the Kirkstone Pass, so if you're ever up in the Lake District, I'd really recommend doing that pass. You'll see in the footage that there's some really good twisty bits for a car such as this. Hopefully, I didn't get anywhere near its limits this weekend, so hopefully you'll see some great videos coming soon where I try and push the car a bit more, maybe on some track days. Please remember to like and subscribe for some new content coming soon. Cheers. Where I can push the car a bit more. There's a motorbike. KTM Adventure. It's hard to get. Ooh, M5. Hi. Oops. I want to make these